Hey guys, it's Kyler, and as you guys might know in the title, well, today I just had a really bad day and stuff, and I feel like some you guys, like, when you saw my live, like, I feel like some of you were like, what did it feel like when you found out? And it's kind of a video, like, you might not even have thought of that, but I'm still gonna tell you. I still would like to tell you how I felt when I found out. And I'm not just saying this to, like, make fun of him and stuff, and, like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm just wanting to express and tell people what I felt when I found out my grandpa passed away. So, the day that he passed away, like, like, I was at school, and, like, something just hit me, and it, like, hurt me for some reason. I was like, what is this pain and stuff, and, like, why is it, bothering me? And then, like, I just kept feeling pain, like, thinking, something just happened to one of my family members, what am I gonna do? And, like, it was, oops. Anyways, it was just, like, super weird, because, like, I didn't know what happened, but it was just, like, this feeling that I had been hit, just, like, hit as hard as I can by, like, some strong force. And it, like, hurt for some reason. I had no idea what it was. And I was just like, what is this? And then I started hallucinating, and I'm like, what is going on with me? And then after, like, a minute, it, like, stopped. I was just confused. I was like, what just happened? And, like, I was so confused. I had no idea what happened. And, like, I was just, you know what? It was probably just my imagination. So I just continued on my work. But once my mom told me, or the day that my mom told me she had bad news, I instantly, like, started to have that feeling again. Because I felt like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Like, I can feel something weird right now. And then, after she had told me my grandpa passed away, he got into a car accident, it hit me again. But, like, twice as hard as, like, before. And I don't know, I felt like passing out. Like, I felt like dropping to the floor. Like, right in the living room, dropping to the floor. But I knew if I did that, it probably wouldn't have ended well. So I just, like, after my mom told me that he got into a car accident, I cried. Like, I teared up a little bit. Because, you know how sometimes when you find out that your grandpa or someone special in your family got injured and stuff, and, like, they're so special to you, like, they're your most favorite out of your whole entire family. Well, that was my grandpa, and once my mom told me he passed away, then I was just, I don't know, like, I honestly didn't really know what to think at that point. Like, I was just thinking and thinking, and I was just, I was ready to, like, like I said, pass out. And, I was just, instead, I just started crying. Like, I mean, like, there's no other emotion you could feel in this except for emptiness. And yeah, on the way home from going to school and, like, heading to my mom's house and stuff, and I was just, yet again, like, so freaking, like, super upset that this happened. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh my god. And I was, like, that feeling when there's someone that you love with all your heart and it just hits you, but no one tells you anything about it. And then once they tell you, it just hits you again. But it's like something shoots at you. Like something just shot straight toward, like straight at your chest and hit you so hard that you just wanted to faint. Like, that's how I felt pretty much. Next day I went to school. It was my first hour. Like my first class of the day. I was just like, ignore it, just try not to think about it. But, having it be the next day that you found out something horrible happened is kind of hard not to think about it because, that person loved you with all their heart and stuff. And one thing that you're going to think about is, like, everything that you do with them. It's hard. Like, I was sitting near my girlfriend. Yes, I do have a girlfriend, guys. And, I always sit near her. Like, I used to sit near her, but then we changed seats and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, I couldn't really stop thinking about it. All I could think was, the only thing that I thought was just imagining in my head, it just happened and replayed over and over and over again. It just made me imagine, like, seeing this happen to him. And then I would end up seeing him laying in a hospital bed, and I didn't want to see him like that. I wanted to see him where he looked like he was okay. But and there was my girlfriend was, checking on me. Like, she checks on me a lot. Yeah, she checks on me a lot. Like, sees, hey, Kyler, how's your day and stuff. Makes me feel great about myself. And she just saw, like, she knows. Like, lots of people know when I'm gonna start crying. Like, if I'm gonna start crying, people will see that I'm just, like, looking at something and, like, getting ready to, like, just think about, like, what's gonna happen next. And then eventually I'm gonna start crying. That's pretty much what happened to me. I was just thinking about it. Like I said, it's very hard not to think about it. But the more you do think about it, it gets worse. Girlfriend goes, hey, are you okay? Or, it wasn't my girlfriend, it was someone else. Another girl sitting at our table and stuff, and I said, or she goes, Kyler, are you okay? And I nodded my head, I said, no. She goes, what's wrong? And I was like, and I told her, and she felt so bad. When you find out someone dies, usually people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry we had to go through this. But other times, people are so mean that it's to the point where they'll just say, I don't care. And I felt like since this happened, I feel like no one was gonna care. Like people were gonna be like, you know what? He died and stuff. Just get over it. Like I felt like people were gonna say that to me. You know? Once you find out someone dies, you can't really get over it. Especially when it's someone that you were super close to. Like, I couldn't get over it. And she was just like, oh my gosh, Kyler, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this. And, you know, I told a few other people. My teacher asked me if I had asked me for some papers. And I was like, oh yeah, I have them right here. And she saw that I was crying. She goes, Kyler, what's wrong? And she goes, and I tell her, she goes, oh, Kyler. She just felt so bad for me because, you know, I do go through a lot. Like, that's just me. And I try to just hold in my emotions, but it's kind of hard to. And, you know, I didn't know what to think anymore. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, and my heart was shattered. Like, it would have taken so long to find all the pieces. Like, still, to this day, my heart is still shattered. My heart is still shattered. Because, you know, he was a family man. He was super special. He never got mad at anyone. And I'm not saying that, but, like, he does end up getting mad at someone for something dumb. Like, no, he never, ever got mad at anyone. He's probably the only person in the family that stayed positive. Never thought anything negative. Yeah. So then I went to band, which is my next tower. And I was like, well, my friend Autumn told me, or asked me, hey Kyler, are you okay? And I was like, and I gotta get it out of my head, no, like, anyone that asked me if I was okay, I would say no, because really, I wasn't okay. I was hurting. And it just hurt. It hurt really bad. Just thinking that, oh my gosh, he's not here. And I was just thinking about all the things, like, I knew it was going to be different when we went to Sault Ste. Marie. I knew it was going to be different being around the family, you know? Like, the first person I see when I go to Sault Ste. Marie is my grandpa. That was the first person I would ever see. I wouldn't see grandma first, or I wouldn't see my great-grandma, I wouldn't see my regular grandma, I wouldn't see my uncle or aunt, I wouldn't see my cousins. And, you know, like, that was the first person I went to, was my grandpa. And it's just, yeah. But, you know, every day after that, I just felt bad. But then, Friday was the day that we left, or the day we were going. Yeah, wait. No. Friday, I didn't go to school because that was the day that we were going to leave to go to Sault Ste. Marie, because obviously there's going to be a funeral there. And I was just, you know, getting out of bed, and, well, the night before, I just started crying, like, you know, I was on my phone, and I saw a picture, and I don't know, I just started crying. Like, I was thinking, again, he's gone. And I feel like I'll never see him again, because really, I won't ever see him again. You know, I just, like other people, I just felt bad and stuff. You know, I just, like, that night, well, it was because I had a mental breakdown and stuff, and because I was just thinking about him, and then, you know, just getting upset, and I was just tired of it. I was tired of, you know, like, hearing about it, just, like, imagining it. You know, it was really hard for me. So then, as soon as I walked into my grandmother's store, which they got into a new house because they moved. And I instantly, like, when I got in there, I saw my mom, and I just ran up to her. I took my shoes off because obviously it's my great grandma's house. I just took my shoes off, went up to my mom, and I just gave her a hug. And then once I gave her that hug, I just started crying. You know, I feel bad for my mom because that was her dad, and I really mean that. Like, I do feel bad, and you know, and so yeah, my dad saw me crying. They felt bad too, and yeah. So then at some point, I went to my aunt's house to spend the night there. And then, yeah, the next morning, as soon as I got out of bed, I got dressed. Like, I got my funeral clothes on instantly. Like, not just saying, oh yeah, I got it on because I want to, you know, show people that I want to be depressed today. Like, no. The only reason why I did it is because, you know, like, I want to show that I really, like, I want my papa to know that I really do care about him. Which obviously I do. I would never say, oh, I don't care about you. Obviously, I love him to death. I would actually die. I would have died for him. Then my aunt goes, we're not going to be leaving for a little bit, so I don't know why you got your clothes on. And I was like, I just wanted to show my papa that I was proud of him. Not in the bad way. Like, no. I was, you know, for all the things, like taking care of his family. But once we got to the funeral place. Well, first we stopped at Walgreens, and it kind of just made me think because we had bought so many tissues, the little packet things of tissues. They had bought, or my aunt bought so many of those because she knew she was going to be crying a lot. And I cried a lot too. You know, I bawled my eyes out because I knew he was gone. We weren't going to really see him in person again. So then, once we got to the funeral home, I instantly felt the same pain, like, but I felt, instead of it hurting, I just felt an energy around me, like, he is walking in there with me. Like, I felt someone around my arm, and I looked, and no one was there, and I knew, like, no, it wasn't a ghost, like, oh my gosh, this place is haunted, like, no, I knew, like, I felt his arm around me, and you know, like, when I walked in there, I felt him, like, I knew he was there, and I don't know, and we were waiting to go inside to go see him, and I was just, you know, I was getting ready to cry. My mom was crying. I felt bad because she cried a lot. Like, every time that she would hug someone, she would cry. She would start crying, and I'm not saying that she's not allowed to cry. Like, of course she's allowed to cry. But I just felt so bad for her. And then I gave her a hug. And then she saw I was crying. She gave me a hug saying, "It'll be okay." And I was like, "No, it won't. He's gone." We walked in there. Or no, I didn't walk in there. They opened the door so that we could see him. And I could see part of his glasses, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I got nervous. Because, I had never been around a dead body. And we got up closer, and I started seeing his face, and I just turned around and left, and I tried it again. I turned around, and my aunt was behind me. It was a different aunt. She was behind me, and then she said, "Kyler, are you afraid to walk up there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You want me to go with you?" And I was like, "Sure." So then she walked me up there. I saw him, and I just started crying. I was like bawling my eyes out because all I could see was my grandpa laying there in a casket with his eyes closed and his glasses on. And his face was looking at me, but his eyes were closed, and he was facing my way. And, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. I couldn't stop. And there was a ring. Here's another ring that I'm wearing right now. I put a ring in there, and it had crosses on it. And I also had this ring. So, pretty much if I wear this ring, or whenever I do wear this ring, my grandpa's always with me. And, I didn't know what to think. I saw my mom crying, my cousins were crying, and usually they don't cry. But I knew it was fine for them this time. I went up there and I saw him. I looked at him. I looked right at his face. And I knew he was peaceful. He was sleeping. He was at rest. Yeah. And we did the funeral thing. And I would cry every time that a song would play. And then the funeral thing was over and stuff. And then my mom, my uncle, which was her brother, and my mom's mom, and I don't know, Jean, or I don't remember who all was up there, but they were all crying and stuff. And my mom was closing the casket and she was crying. And my dad was one of the people that had was one of the people that that or wait okay, wait, where was it? Oh yeah, my dad was one of the people that carried out the casket. And, I saw them taking the casket out, taking the casket there, and we were outside, and we were saying stuff that we loved about him and getting ready to bury him. And a few of us, like people that my grandpa thought were very, very special, got to put a rose on it, on his casket. And as a Native American tradition, when someone dies, you put tobacco and cedar on the casket before you bury them. Anyways, back to the rose thing. Fewer people got to put the roses on the casket, and I was one of the people. And there wasn't enough roses for everyone to put on. Like, there was only fewer roses for, like, people that he thought were important in his life. Obviously his friends, but, like, his family. Like, his mom and dad, his daughter, his son, his grandkid. I put the roses on. Sorry. We were just saying a few words and everyone went to their cars and stuff. And I was sitting in my dad's car and I was just watching them lower his casket into the ground, and I started crying. And I got out so I could give people hugs and stuff because I felt bad. I was just crying because I didn't know what to think. My stepmom went with me, and I turned around, she held her arms out, and I ran straight to her and just gave her a hug because I didn't know what to think. The only thing I could think was if we ever went up to Sault Ste. Marie again, I wouldn't be able to see him. So I knew it was my time to say goodbye. So yeah, just wanted to tell you what it felt like. Right now I just can't stop thinking about him. And it's stressful. It's just like, people don't understand, like, someone will ask me, hey, are you okay? And I'll just ask them, do you think I'm okay? It's every day, every night, every minute. All I think about is him. All I think about is everything I've done with him. All I think about is everything that is the thing that happened to him in the funeral and stuff. So you asking me if I'm okay, that's probably gonna be your answer. So if you really think I'm okay, you should probably think again. And it's just stressful. I knew that I wasn't going to see him. And it's just stressful because, you know, you think about someone every day, and it's just hard not to. I just hope you guys do well, and this is just a lesson. Don't ever think wrong about someone. Because you never know if that will be the last time that you see them ever again. The last time I've ever seen him was when he was down here and we were all sick and I couldn't spend time with him. But yeah. So that's just the moral. Don't ever think something wrong, and just don't ever say anything negative about a person, because you never know if that will be the last time you ever see them again, or if you will see them again. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and stuff. I mean, there's not really anyone that was watching, but you know, I just wanted to tell you guys. So yeah. Thanks for your support, and I hope to see you in the next video.